Happy hump day, happy hump day. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the midweek analysis. I'm your main man, Pips, aka Mr. Levels, aka Hop, aka It's Up There. You know, well. What do we have here for this midweek price action? Before I jump into the midweek analysis, let me give a quick disclaimer. This is not financial advice. Anything that I share during this analysis is for educational purposes only. I repeat, this is not financial advice. Anything that I share during this analysis is for educational purposes only. Cool beans? Cool beans. Well, let's jump into it. So, looking back at the pre-week analysis, I have everything already mapped out for you guys. You see the markings on the charts. You see exactly where I wanted to see price go this week. Looking at the dollar, we see that I expected price to pull back up into the PD, which is premium um array level for Friday's price action. This candle here. These black lines are black levels that you see, horizontal lines, is the premium price levels of Friday's price range. 62% of this price range and 79% of this price range. That is my PD array levels. Being that it was a bearish day, that would make these levels a premium PD array level, right? If it was a bullish day and my PD array levels was on the candle, it would be a discount PD array level. That's what the PD and PD array stands for, premium and discount. So looking at my premium discount levels, we see that from Monday to yesterday and through today as well, we had price come up into those PD array levels, right? We hit and went up through the 62% PD array level, right? And we came into consequent encroachment of the PD array levels, right? Meaning the midpoint, 50% of the way, 50% of these two levels, right? The halfway of these two levels, right? Price came up into there today and then backed off of it, sold away from it, dropped down away from it, right? And we see price just opened up for the Asian markets, right? And we opened up bullish, pushing a little bit towards the upside. Now, I'm interested to see what price does throughout the rest of Asian markets tonight and going into London markets for the London session in the morning, right? I want to see if we push up into that upper premium PD array level, right? And if we push up into there, if we push up to that level between now and London, right? And when London comes, if we respect this level, right? I'll be down on the hour and 15-minute time frames looking for the bodies of those time frames. Looking for the body of the candles on those time frames to respect that 79% PD array level. If we can see that, right, then I would like to see price push back down to the downside, exactly the way that I have it mapped out here and that I had mapped out on the pre-week analysis, right? Now, of course, if we break above that upper PD array level, right? If we break above it aggressively and close above it aggressively, then I will look for price to pull back down, right? And use that level as a support to catapult us up to the weekly PD array levels, right? What you see here in blue. I have everything titled and labeled over here for you guys, right? For your convenience. So Yeah. Now, being that we didn't come back down to this daily fair value gap that we broke above here, right? I would like to see price pull back down to it before we see price push up to that daily, that upper daily PD array level, right? Right here, right? Exactly how I have it mapped out is what I want to see, right? So we got the first leg to play out exactly how I wanted to see it. Now let's see if we can get this second leg down to play out exactly how I want to see it for the swing up. Now, the confirmation that we would need that price is going to swing back up if we get that pull back down to this now, which is now a let me see some. Okay. So this is no longer a valid in fact fair value gap, right? Or inversion fair value gap because we broke through it. And if price was going to use it as an inversion fair value gap to reject price to the downside, we would have respected it here, right? So now that we are back above that, this imbalance has been balanced out, right? There's no longer imbalance right there in the market. So if and when we come back down to this level, we shouldn't see price break back below or close below this level, right? This fair value gap right here. So we would want to see price respect this level. I wouldn't want to see price break below the consequent encroachment midway of this daily fair value gap right here, right? If we can get that, I'll be watching for the bodies of the candles on the hour, 15-minute time frame to respect the upper and consequent encroachment of this fair value gap for confirmation that we're going to continue to the upside. That's if price pulls back between the rest of Asian markets and London markets in the AM session for the morning, right? So that's what I'm expecting to see. Now, I want to draw your attention to something right quick because we see for the last 3 days, price was bullish. Today was fairly flat. We started out bullish, but we closed uh, almost exactly where we opened, right? So called it a flat day, right? Even though we did have a good little run up this morning, right? So I want to show you something right quick. Looking at ES, right? See that we had those 3 up days for the dollar, right? Which should have been 3 down days for ES. But instead, look at this. Didn't get much bearish volatility Monday, right? Yesterday was a bullish day. Should have been a bearish day, right? Because futures is inversely correlated with the dollar, meaning they move in the opposite direction with the dollar. So we should have seen 3 bearish days instead of seeing this bullish day here yesterday. And today was slightly bearish, right? So what do we have tomorrow? Well, if you look at your Forex factory calendar, you will see that tomorrow we have unemployment claims at 8:30 a.m., which is a high impacting news driver, as well as Jerome Powell, our Fed chair, speaking at 2 p.m., right? And that is high impacting news, right? So we got Fed chair Jerome Powell speaking, and we got unemployment claims tomorrow, which are 2 high impacting news drivers, right? So being that the last 3 days should have been bearish, but they was bullish, I think tomorrow whatever the news is for tomorrow, I think that we're going to see all of this, what should have been bearish these last 3 days. I think we're going to see that come into the market tomorrow. I think we're going to see that bearishness come into the market tomorrow off of the high impacting news drivers that we have coming out. Right now, I could be wrong. I could very well be wrong, and the high impacting news driver could come out and affect the market in a bullish way. Right, it could push ES straight up through this daily fair value gap and this monthly buy side liquidity. We could see it push right up through that, right? And I mean, if this is going to be accumulation and we get a manipulation to the upside, that's very well what could happen. We could see news come out and wick us up to the upside, right? To run October's buy side liquidity, fill in the rest of this daily fair value gap, and then slam down to the downside to then fill in all of these imbalances that we created last week. This imbalance, and this imbalance, right? So it's going to be either or. We're either going to see news come out, wick us up to run buy side liquidity and then sell off for the rest of Thursday and all of Friday, or we could see that high impacting news give us the bearishness that we should have seen these first 3 days of the week, right? So regardless of what, when the news come out, I'll be on the sidelines during the release of the news, right? And then I'll give it about 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes to settle, right? Before I start entering or executing any trades. I don't like to be in the market when the news is first released unless I just see my model setting up, right? Which is the MMX model, whether it be the market maker's buyer model or the market maker's seller's model, right? Or I just trade my AM silver bullet and my PM silver bullet. Preferably the AM silver bullet is my favorite, right? So the news comes out at 8:30 and 2 o'clock. So that wouldn't affect my silver bullet for tomorrow. So if I see my silver bullet play, I'm going to take it, of course, right? And the PM silver bullet will definitely be affected by Jerome Powell's speech tomorrow because it comes out at 2 o'clock, right? And we know that the PM silver bullet is from 2 to 3. So if you do trade the PM silver bullet model, please be careful tomorrow and make sure that you're not over leveraging and make sure you're using proper risk management. Cool beans, cool beans. All right, let's jump back to the dollar right quick, right? So you can get one more look at what I have for you guys here. So this is what I'm expecting, right? We had 3 bullish days, well, 2 bullish days this week, and we opened up bullish today, but closed flat, right? So let's see how currencies reacted to a bullish dollar for the beginning of this week. Let's see if it moved in the direction that it should have, because we know that currencies are inversely correlated with the dollar as well, meaning they should have pushed in the opposite direction of the dollar this week, right? So look at that. Euro USD playing out exactly how I had it drawn out for you guys. Go back and look at the pre-week analysis. It's the last video posted before this one that I post tonight, that I will post later. So go back and look at the last video I posted. I posted 2 shorts of my trade entries, so not the shorts that I posted. Go back and watch the pre-week analysis video that I posted earlier this week, right? And you'll see this same analysis drawn out here on the pre-week analysis, right? That's where this come from. It comes from the pre-week analysis. So we see that we had Euro USD to sell off, right? We went up, ran that buy side liquidity, did exactly the opposite of what the dollar did. The dollar opened up and pushed down to run the weekly sell side liquidity. Let me go back and show you one more time. Opened up, ran weekly sell side liquidity, right? Euro opened up, ran weekly buy side liquidity, and sold off. Selling off down to the daily PD array level, right? For 60 plus pips, right? That's pretty good pippage out of a currency pair, right? So I do want to see us pull on back down and at least pull back down to the lower discount PD array for Friday's price range, right? Want to see us pull down into there. And then depending on how price reacts to that level, I would either want to see us reverse off of that level and push back up, or if we break through that level aggressively and close below it, then I expect us to pull down to where I have it drawn out in between the weekly and in between the upper and lower weekly discount PD arrays for last week's price range. Cool beans, cool beans. GBP USD, same thing. Opened up, ran weekly buy side liquidity, and then sold off just the way I wanted to see for more than 100 pips, right? For 120 pips. Damn good pippage for a currency pair. I want to see us continue to pull down into these discount PD array levels, and then swing back up. So let's see if these high impacting news drivers tomorrow push us down here, right? And causes the dollar to give us that push higher, right? Before going lower with the dollar, right? So I want to see us go lower and then go higher with currencies. NZD USD, same thing, exactly how I have it drawn out. NZD opened up this week and sold down for 87 pips, almost 90 pips, right? Exactly how I wanted to see it play out this week, right? Go back and look at the pre-week analysis. These aren't new markings that I just put on the chart tonight in hindsight. This is something that I had drawn out Sunday afternoon. And I shared this analysis with you guys on the pre-week analysis. So, boom, I had this here because I said if we break below, this lower level daily discount PD array and close below it, I expect us to run sell side liquidity from Friday's price range and potentially drop down into the weekly discount PD array levels, right? Right down in here. So let's see if we find support here and price start to push back up, or if we push lower, and if we do push lower and close below this level here, I expect us to run Friday's sell side liquidity, and it's very likely that we push down to at least the 62% weekly PD array level here, this blue level here, right? And if you notice, there's a fair value gap right there, which is Friday's sell side liquidity, the low of Friday's candle, and the high of last Wednesday's candle, right? Boom. So that's what I'm expecting out of currencies. Going back to futures, I am expecting us to push lower, right, tomorrow. I'm expecting the high impacting news drivers that we got coming out tomorrow to give us the bearish move that we should have seen Monday, Tuesday, and today, right? Now, we could very well see the news push us up, right? Push us up to run through this daily fair value gap and to run October's buy side liquidity. You see, I have the buy side liquidity labeled right here, monthly buy side liquidity in green. That's what this green level is. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to make that more visible, but I think you guys can see it. So, yeah. So, news could very well. So, here's how I'm thinking it may play out. Unemployment claims, right? The news that come out at 8:30, high impacting news driver, could be the driving force to push us up to run that monthly buy side liquidity and fill in that daily fair value gap, right? And then we immediately start to sell off of it, which would create a wick to the upside, right? And then we begin to immediately sell off of it, sell away from it, right? And then for the rest of the day, sell down right up until 2 o'clock, right? And 2 o'clock news driver, which is our Fed Chair Jerome Powell speaking, could go ahead and push us on down through these daily discount arrays and on down into this big imbalance that we see right here from last Thursday's price range, right? So that's what I'm thinking should happen. 8:30 or might happen. 8:30, high impacting news driver wicks us up to run monthly buy side liquidity and fill in the daily fair value gap. We immediately sell away from it after we run it. And 2 o'clock, Fed chair news, go ahead and push us down to the downside to come back in to discount price levels of Friday's price range and fill in this imbalance to the downside, right? And I'm not sure if price comes all the way back down into this imbalance. I'm expecting it to, right? But maybe we just come down to this daily breaker right here, this daily breaker block that we see right here, right? This low, this high, and this lower low, and we broke back above it, right? Which makes this a daily breaker, right? We could very well just see price come back down to there, fill in this imbalance here, leave this open as a breakaway gap, as a daily breakaway fair value gap, right? And just push higher from there, right? Because I do believe futures are going to go higher, right? Especially with the Fed chair being dovish right now, a dovish mindset from the Federal Reserve, or the Fed, should I say, usually results in stocks and bonds going higher, right? And dollar going lower. So depending on what Powell says tomorrow, if it matches up with what he previously said, I think it was either last week or the week before, and if he remains dovish, then we should see stocks fly higher, right? And dollar go lower. But I don't think it will be immediately, meaning we'll just see, price fly up immediately, right? We might see when he speaks tomorrow, it push markets down, right? And then Friday, right, we see price start to rebound right here, right? If we do push all the way down into this inversion fair value gap right here, right? Because this is a daily inversion fair value gap, right? So if we do see price push down in here off of Jerome Powell speaking, I think that is just the manipulation that we'll see initially from him speaking before price really showing the true effects of him having a dovish outlook on the marketplace, right? So we'll see this first as a manipulation leg from him speaking, and then we'll start to see price rebound, right, and push back up. Because if he remains dovish, then stocks and bonds should go higher and the dollar should go lower, point blank period. So that's what I'm expecting out of ES. Same thing out of ENQ, right? See, we've been bullish these last 3 days. We was bullish Monday, right here, bullish Tuesday, yesterday, and we was flat today, right? But if you notice, what did price run up into? Monthly, 62% premium PD array level. Look how the body's respecting it, right? So as I said, I'm expecting news drivers tomorrow to give us the bearishness out of futures that we should have seen Monday, Tuesday, and today, right? So that's what I'm expecting. News at 8:30 tomorrow. If we don't see any pullback in price tonight and price just kind of stays flat or continues to consolidate or accumulate over Asian markets going into London, 8:30 news could push us up to run that 79% monthly premium array level before slamming back down for the rest of the week, right? And we could end the week down in these discount levels of this upward move. And then when we open up next week, that's when we can start to see price push back up. And that's for ES2. So I don't really think we may see this whole move play out this week, right? I don't even know if the market is gonna be volatile enough to give us this move, right? Over a range of 2 more days that we have left in this trading week, right? So what we could see is us closing down in these discount levels, right? And opening up next week, pushing back higher. So that's what I'm expecting out of NQ, right? I don't usually look at U30, but same thing with U30, right? We see we was bullish. These 3 days should have been bearish. So I expect us to push down tomorrow for E-mini Dow, or if you trade indices, US 30, right? So that's what I'm expecting out of the markets going forward for the rest of the week. That will conclude the midweek analysis. As always, if these reviews are adding any value to your trading journey, to your analysis. Please like, share, and most of all, subscribe. It really helps out a lot. If you would like to join my private Telegram group where you interact with me in my community and have access to multiple platforms that I subscribe to with real time, valuable, global economic news. Sign up for my silver package on my website at precisionpipsllc.com and sign up for the silver package. And that gives you access to our private Telegram group where we discuss all things economic and financial literacy. So, with that being said, I appreciate you guys coming out tonight, tuning in, getting this knowledge, and empowering yourselves. Let your family and friends know you love them while they still here. Please. And as always, peace and love, everybody. You know?